Hello everyone, I'm here in Kerbal Space Program with a video on Solar System, which is a mod by Ballistic Fox that seeks to replace real solar system for all your solar system needs. And it has the benefit of using a texture loader that loads things much more efficiently, even if you're using high quality textures for the real solar system. So Solar System is more efficient like that. And broadly speaking, it's compatible with stuff like RSS Canaveral HD, but you can see that there is a flaw here, which I'll talk about how to fix that in a sec. Now, Ballistic Fox made a video on how to install this, but that video is unlisted, so I'll respect that. I won't link in the video description, but a video exists on how to install this, and you can go to Ballistic Fox's Discord, Fox Tech. I'll link the forum page for the mod so that you can take a look at it there, but there's no official link for it, and Ballistic Fox is going to make it easier to install eventually. So that's why the install video is not public. So keep that in mind. It's not version 1.0 yet, but darn it, a lot of us want to use it right now, right? So what's going on here? Why do we have this seam here? Well, the reason is that the mod Soul System is if it detects that you have RSS Canaveral HD, it's going to try and place a version of RSS Canaveral HD in the right place for its landscape. However, RSS Canaveral HD is also trying to place itself. So we have a conflict here. So let me show you basically what I'm going to do about that, and we'll reload and see the effects. Okay, so here we've got the install with KSP in the background there, but what we have going for us here is that in the Sol configs and patches, it has a patch for Canaveral HD, and that's already trying to place things. If we compare to the existing placement in RSS Canaveral HD, it's in this decals file. Yeah, so it has this city too. It has other things as well, this map decal and that map decal, but those presumably are gotten rid of, and we really just want the one here, I suppose. So we'll just delete this one and see how that goes, and this will be sort of an experiment as to whether that works out for us. So decals goes away. I don't know about this launch sites patch, whether that needs to go away, because it doesn't seem like this one changes it, the one in Seoul. Well, sort of. At least we got rid of the duplicate. Clearly there isn't any seams now, but the KSC is definitely not integrated properly here. It's a little bit too high there, but we can deal with that. We don't launch from it. Though while we launch from the correct pad, we might accidentally spot this sort of poking out, so that's not great. But anyway, it was always going to be somewhat odd. I don't know, the ground doesn't seem to be part of the KSC. It seems to be its own little ground thing that's actually overlapping the runway, so that's not great. Anyway, I should do what I normally do with RSS Reborn or the Soul System mod, which is launch the Space Shuttle. The STS one is locked because it's got parts as cargo that aren't supposed to be there. So the question is whether the placement of this Cape Canaveral is in the right place. So let me just do this dance, and let's see if this ends up at the right location. Well, that's looking pretty good. I actually moved this up. You can sort of see with those lines that this is supposed to be back there, but I was having a little bit of trouble with that. But overall, it looks right. Nothing weird going on, right? Seems okay. I don't know why there seems to be stuff. Is there supposed to be stuff right there? I didn't think so. Well, I guess there is now. Yeah, there's some suspicious stuff going on right here. Are those new facility? But it doesn't seem integrated with the other stuff that's going on. Anyway, we'll let that be. Let's see a launch here. So right now, my RAM usage is 18.5 gigabytes. And I have all the planets. I used the 8K textures for some of them, and it's 16K for Earth, Moon, Mars, and the Saturn system. So I think maybe also the asteroid belt. But okay, so I'm gonna, this is the Giuliodandi shuttle, and I'm gonna run that OPS1 script as I've done before, and we'll see if it all works out. We don't really need the UI. Off it goes. So in terms of performance, I should say that I have a RTX 4070 and I have an i5 12600K processor, and I have 64 gigabytes of RAM. DDR4 only though. We have the volumetric clouds, though it's not a very cloudy day around here for us to find out about that. We'll probably find out in orbit though. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but it looks weird. Guess that's new facilities they put in, but it doesn't seem to work with everything else. Alright, shuttle doing its thing, but I think the separation of the boosters is wrong with this particular craft file. I fixed that eventually, but not with this one. But at least they don't hurt anything. Generally speaking, the volumetric clouds always work pretty well at low altitude. It's only when we get to orbit that tends to lag things a bit, so we'll see how it goes in this version. We can sort of still see the little black dots of the boosters there. I guess distant object enhancement decides that they ought to look like little black dots instead of little white dots, but alright, rolling over here. And this is our situation. Alright. Off goes the external tank. And then I have to do the OMS burn. So let's see, any sign of choppiness around here? First we have to get actually into space, that would help. Well, even at this site it seems pretty good so far. We certainly don't want to bust our GPUs at this stage. This is not the time to have a busted GPU, that's for sure. Not a huge amount of clouds just yet. Mild cloud cover. And I'm only using the 16K textures, so we could get better textures for Earth. Especially now that the textures don't seem to take up... well, if you put 32K textures on Earth, you will get a lot of RAM usage, let's face it. But it won't necessarily load it all up front, it looks like. So yeah, I'm up here, 20 gigabytes of RAM, and things are looking good. It doesn't sound like my portable GPU is too taxed, which is a contrast to how it sometimes is in orbit. So there it is, with the volumetric clouds and everything, Sol system if we take a look at the map, I don't know if we will be able to see a whole lot, but the solar system does have all these extra markers that always show up, though. The moon is looking like the moon. We'll have to send a mission over there to see if there's any seams or anything. I really don't need it like this. I really don't need it like this. Please tell me there's a way to turn that off. Okay, so that's what Mars looks like. I seem to recall there had been a sort of shading issue when I had approached it before, and then that was solved by like reloading it or something like that. So that's probably the case again from the last time I tried this. Or it might be the case again. Jupiter looking like that. And we'll just take a look at Saturn, and that'll be that. Saturn does have its rings and its oblateness. Alright. So yes, everything seems to be in order like that, but I will have to try to do more intense things with it. I'm gonna see if I get everything from my larger install, the one that I have been doing a lot of stuff in that takes up 40 gigabytes of RAM, put it in here, put everything in here. I will see what kind of RAM usage it has, given the fact that we actually have extra textures in here compared to the other install. The other install is just a regular real solar system install. So yeah, I'll do a comparison like that, but for now, things are working okay. And actually my Tampico scenery works here as well. So with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time.